Will you all please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you all. You may be seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The November 5th, 2025 meeting of the City Council will now come to order at 6 p.m. Winnie, may we have roll, please?
Jessica Ayers.
Here.
Nick Card.
Here.
Kevin Keating.
Here.
Mike Kurlinger.
Here.
John Quinn.
Here.
Zach Smith.
Here.
Kevin Stein.
Here.
And Garrett West.
Here.
We have 8 present.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Moving on to item 20, City Manager reports. Mr. Field.
Sorry, good evening, Rob Field, your city manager. Quick report this evening. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about Halloween. We had a great trunk or treat event out front. A lot of departments showed up. We actually, for the first time, Jackson County showed up. Jackson County Circuit Court was one of the participants, and it was really good to have them there, as well as a whole bunch of city departments. So very well attended. We're not sure how many people came because we don't charge admission, but it seemed like it was a far larger crowd than last year. Fire hosted a regional hazmat training up at Station 14 with agencies across the Rogue Valley participating. Included a skills rodeo with a bunch of hands-on scenarios, so just helping make sure that we are ready for the next whatever it is. We're doing free wood debris chipper days again, November 19th and 20th at Donahue Frunmeyer and Fichtner Mainwaring Parks, for those who are so inclined who want to dispose of some of their excess debris. That's the time to do it. The Public Safety Tower event. Public Safety Tower Corporation, in partnership with the city, built a new tower. Several of the people, well, some of you were there that day. We had Mayor Sarazinski, Fire Chief Thompson, Councilors Ayers and Card were in attendance. A really great public-private partnership that delivered a tower to the city basically at no charge. It's good for them too because we were able to host the tower for them, so a win-win for everybody. Main Street Alternatives were embarking on the open house and survey. Survey launches on the 10th. Open house will be on the 20th at Oakdale Middle School from 5:30 to 7. And feedback from both of those will be presented to the council in December. This weekend, Rogax Holiday Market. Last weekend, Barnstormers Holiday Bazaar was a huge success. Talked to a couple of the vendors there. They said on the first day they thought they had over 3,300 people in attendance. This weekend, Mistletoe Market, which is hosted by Gather Production, will be at Rogax on Friday and Saturday. A lot of vendors, a lot of folks, a lot of food trucks, a lot of different opportunities for us to peruse and purchase stuff for the holidays. Finally, Veterans Day coming up on the 11th. Important date for us all to remember. Great opportunity to thank our veterans and honor those who have served and who continue to serve. So I want to make sure we made special note of that. And with that, it concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Field. Any questions? Moving on to item 30, recognition and community group reports. Item 30.1, Business Oregon. Unfortunately, our Business Oregon rep was not able to attend tonight's meeting. Item 30.2, Habitat for Humanity. Denise James is here to provide a report. Welcome, Denise.
All right, what do I push? Just push that one. Okay. Thank you for having me. I'm Denise James, Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity of the Rogue Valley. I've been there for a little over 20 years and have seen lots of changes and lots of things have happened. My report is pretty full of everything that I know of that we've partnered with the city. But just for some background, I know most of you, if you don't know the program, Habitat for Humanity builds homes for people that are low income, have a need for housing, and are willing to partner and help build their home as well as complete some education. We use volunteers from the community and fundraise from the community as well to build a home. And then when we're finished with that home, we sell it with an affordable mortgage. We have built and sold 85 homes so far since 1987. And we also have a growing repair program, which I will talk about. The first time that I'm aware of a partnership with the City of Medford was in 2002. The City of Medford provided a general fund grant to support Habitat's first executive director. It wasn't me. I just remembered that it happened, and she had to make lots of reports, and I thought that interesting because I don't think the general fund general grant does that nowadays. But it definitely did start the program rolling. That was the first staff person in 2002. Today we have 19 between the affiliate and the restore. So we've grown quite a bit, and you can see the city's got us started. The next partnership that we had with the city was a CDBG grant award, which is a Community Development Block Grant, which is HUD funds that is awarded to the city, and then we became a subrecipient. We were able to purchase a piece of property on 10th Street, and it had a dilapidated home on it that we tore down and built 3 new homes on it. It was very complicated, and it was quite a learning curve between Habitat and the city. The environmental review had some issues, and it took us a little while. We finished the 3 homes. 2 of them are still in their home. We've got one recycled that we're going to be selling later this month. This project has a very beautiful alley behind the homes, thanks to the City of Medford's direction. And then came the Neighborhood Stabilization Program. The NSP program was really built from out of the housing collapse when there were so many foreclosed homes and abandoned properties. And this was a federal program to help nonprofits or help really get some of those houses taken care of. So we were able to receive funding from the city that first allowed us to buy some foreclosed or land that was foreclosed on. We built 6 homes with that, and then we were able to buy 7 homes that we renovated and resold to families. Again, it was a complicated process, and environmental reviews and staff learning curves, and in that time, we decided that we became good friends with many of the planners and staff. In fact, so much so that they actually volunteered to come at a job site. So this is a couple of them at some of the city staff that did come out and do some volunteering when we were doing renovations. We haven't asked them to come out for a while. We think we probably are such a pain in their neck lately over other programs that we're waiting for them to want to be friends with us some more. In 2022, before Angela left, she actually was awarded a grant from HUD for the lead hazard removal program. This was also complicated, and I think the city identified that there were older homes in the city that most likely had lead hazards in them, and we hired staff that had to have some specialized training that did that testing. We were searching for children that had some elevated blood levels from lead, and it takes a very little amount of lead to have really detrimental effects on the health of children. So it was a very important program and project that we did. We completed the abatement of 4 homes that are safer now because of this program. And then we've also partnered throughout the Housing Opportunity Fund, which was a more recent program. Many of you may have heard we had some difficulty with the approval for this program or this project. Our Grandview project, or Happyview, we plan to build 14 homes, and we have some state funding to build homes. And the first house has already been completed, which faces Grandview. That center portion that you see is the area that we're working on the infrastructure now. And we received 2 grants. Oh, there's some boo-boos on there, I'm sorry. We received 2 grants from the Housing Opportunity Fund program that are helping us with that infrastructure. We wouldn't be able to get this done in a timely manner at all without the city's support, and certainly do appreciate it. The city staff have been wonderful helping us with reimbursements and getting this done. We hope to begin building houses within the next week or so. It's almost ready for that. We also have partnered with the city for recently with a CDBG program for house repair. In 2002, the city of Medford adopted a home repair program, which the city facilitated in the planning office. They did that for a few years and then decided that maybe that wasn't their best thing that they should be doing, and handed it over to Access, who managed the program, and the city every year awarded CDBG funds for that. Access then handed that program off to the Housing Authority, and they then decided that they were wanting to build houses and affordable housing more, so they began the process of handing that over to Habitat for Humanity. We have a repair program that is growing. We are able to do repairs from implementing ramps and fixing porches for people that are disabled, changing lives in that way, as well as more critical home repair, such as roofs and heat. We're just really seeing some impact. We're on our 5th one for the year, and it's quite, it has the same impact as a new house does for people. Some people have been stranded in their homes without the ability to get out. We talked to a woman yesterday who's gone 4 years with that heat. So we know that this program is going to really be beneficial to people in our community. Again, it's a community development block grant program that funds are awarded to the city from the Housing Authority, from HUD. And we are currently waiting for them to come back to work so we can get approval of environmental review so we can get the next 2 projects going that we're ready for. At Habitat, we do more than those 2 things as well. We utilize a lot of volunteer work. We've helped train at least 300 women throughout the time I've been there, through women programs, students, as well with some training. I believe that, the city of Medford has certainly been beneficial to our growth. The same types of collaboration with partnerships. We have a shared mission of providing affordable housing, and you've helped us have some community strength. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much for what you've done for us as an organization, as well as helping us jumpstart building more homes and repair. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions, Kevin?
Yeah, you mentioned the Happy View difficulties. Is that?
It's been many things. It was some unhappy neighbors at first. It's been complications with the water, the swale, the contractors. It's now contractors, but
Is the goal still to do 14 homes in that area?
yes.
Just timeline might be extended from previous.
I hope so.
hope.
Yeah, yes. The first 8 homes are under a deadline with a state grant, and we're really running out of time. So it's you're hearing my frustration over that, but they will get built.
So I think you mentioned 85 homes since 1987? I think that's what I heard.
Yes.
So is that the entire area?
Jackson County, yes.
Okay. How?
I know what you're going to ask me.
yeah.
I don't know.
Here, let me ask you anywhere. How many in Medford? Or how many? I mean, I was there for the 10th Street opening, and I did get to see the alley, and that's where I actually met Jessica.
You did. I remember. Yeah.
Wait, you met me in the
And I met
alley?
Jessica in a back alley, and she
'Cause that's
she
where I hang
shared
out.
her concerns about how that process went. So are these the first homes since that? And that was like 2020. Because we were wearing masks. So it was like 2020 or 2021 for those homes.
We've built 1 or 2 single infill lots since then
Okay.
in Medford. The majority of those homes are in Medford, but we have built in Ashland and White City, Eagle Point, Central Point. The majority. I don't know the exact number.
Okay. That's fine. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
One more.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Kevin. Other Kevin.
Sorry, I have one more question for you, if you don't mind. You mentioned some environmental reviews on the repair program, is that correct?
Yes.
I wasn't aware that, for instance, a roof repair would need an environmental review, is it?
Any project that's using federal funds needs an environmental review.
I see, okay. And then, that's fine, thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. All right. Item 30.3, Southern Oregon Education Services District. Brad, I'm sorry, is it Capener? Yeah. All right, Brad Capener from SOESD.
Thank you. It's good to be here this evening. Brad Capener, and I am the principal of the Southern Oregon Career Center, which is the second regional career center in Oregon. And the first is in Salem with Willamette Career Academy. We are sponsored by the ESD, and we opened our first program this last September, a medical assisting program. Our mission is to bridge industry and K-12 education. And we believe that when industry and education work together, students have a brighter future, and the community as a whole benefits greatly. So our goal is to align education and workforce demand, preparing students for high-need careers, and helping employers meet hiring challenges. And to that end, we partnered with Valley Immediate Care, Providence, La Clinica, Asante, Rogue Community Health, who sit on an monthly advisory board with us. And we've created a program for juniors and seniors, which is a certificated program. They will graduate after the 2 years they spend with us. They're with us every day for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. And they leave with able to take a test in the National Health Exam. And they leave with 3 certificates. One is a medical assisting, one is a phlebotomy, and one is a patient service representative, which are the folks when you go into a doctor and you're greeted by somebody, that's who those folks are. We also offer a mentoring program so that every student has paired with a medical professional that helps encourage them, and there's some job shadowing available for that. Healthcare, the industry of healthcare in Oregon, across the United States as well, but definitely in Oregon, is in the greatest need for positions and turnover, and we are actively partnering with them to try to be a solution. We have created also a behavioral health program, partnering with Jackson County Health and Human Services, Jackson Care Connect, All Care. This program will earn students a QMHA-R certificate at the end, and when they graduate. And we are in the process of recruiting for that program right now. We know that behavioral health is a serious concern in our community, and we're trying to find and pair students to come into those industries to help our local community. We are also partnering with Mercy Flights, local fire departments, and RCC on developing an emergency services program where students come out with an EMT certification right out of high school. This saves them time, it saves them money, and when they go to community college, if they decide to go and get a stackable career certificate, they can go right into being like a paramedic. Building workforce pipelines for healthcare and behavioral health are igniting the passions of our students who might otherwise feel directionless. These programs also help students living in poverty, and it gives them a way out. Giving them a certificate in a high demand or in demand career and a high wage career shows them a path out of poverty. Currently, we are partnering with our community in Medford on providing space for our classrooms. Health and Human Services and Mercy Flights and Valley Immediate Care are all donating classroom space for us for the year, so until we can get a building ourselves. In the spring, we have some donors that are willing to help support us, and we're looking to purchase a building in the Medford area. And we're hoping to then expand, once we have a building, to expand into the trades. So we're already in conversations with aviation, for aviation mechanics. We're talking to manufacturing, engineering, construction, and we have some supporters at this point trying to help us lift us now so that we can move into the trades later. In conclusion, we have a fundraiser at Relic Winery on November 15th to both build awareness of the program and also help fund for our emergency medical services lab that we need to put together. You are most welcome to join us. And I gave you a handout that's kind of an overview of our program, and also on the second page there's a QR code for the event. If you know somebody also who might be interested, please share that information. We'd love to have you. I also provided one other handout, and that is the ESD is supportive of a program called Youth Science, and it's in many of our schools throughout the county. And Youth Science helps kids identify their interests and their aptitudes. And when you can put those two together, I have an interest in teaching, for example, and I have a high aptitude for that, it helps kids kind of give them a direction. So as you know, we have at the ESD and the Career Connected Learning, we start from elementary school and help guide them into careers all the way into high school where they have CTE programs. Ours is just, this career school is just one other addition that we're looking that we can provide support for students across the county. And my final words is that we have students coming from Ashland, we have students coming from Prospect every day, we have students from Rogue River, we have students from Armadillo Charter School, and students from Medford. So we have kids from all around the county coming into this program, and this program wouldn't have those opportunities if we didn't have this program. Thank you very much for hearing me tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad. Any questions?
I do.
Kevin?
Thanks for coming, Brad. Is this also available to private school students and homeschoolers?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
that's great. Sounds really good. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Any other questions? Thank you for the time.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, we're moving on to item 40, oral requests and communications from the audience. Council sets aside 30 minutes for in-person public comments. Comments are limited to 2 minutes per person or organization. As outlined in the agenda, the public may also submit written comments to council. No written comments were received for tonight's meeting. Before hearing public comments, I'd like to note the decorum policy for the council chambers. The use of noisemakers or disruptive audience behavior such as applause, cheering, or shouting is not permitted. Decorum violations are time-consuming and disrespectful to the speaker and all attendees. Failure to follow the basic standards of decorum may result in removal from the meeting. Finally, I'd like to emphasize that this is your opportunity to provide comments to the council and is not intended to be a time for questions and answers. If you have completed a public comment form, please come to the front of the room when your name is called. The time is 6:22. Public comments will be heard until 6:52. Winnie, has anyone completed a public comment form for tonight's meeting?
Yes, we have 3 forms for James Porter, Chris Turner, and Bill Dames.
Please come to the front.
Do I stand right here?
Yes.
So what do I do?
You speak into the microphone, and please give us your name for the record.
James Porter.
Thank you.
I've lived in Medford all my life, born and raised here. Born in Klamath Falls, lived here all my life. Okay, I'd like to discuss the fee you're charging everyone for wanting water and electric bills sent to them, but people older like us, we don't like this electronic stuff. Many seniors do not have access to a computer, have trouble with their personal phones, don't even know how to go to the library. I've spoken to your staff at Water and Utilities trying to figure out how many people get water utility bills. No one knows, they told me. They said they spend around $10,000 a month per water per utility. That's $20,000 a month, $240,000 a year. Say if you charge the water and utilities $6, say for 50,000 people, that's $300,000 a month or $3.6 million a year. Where's all the money going to go? What's it going to be used for? No one can tell me the exact number of people that are getting bills. I'd like to find that out if I could. That's all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, please.
I'm back. My name is Chris Turner. I'm here to talk about the Creekside Quarter Project, and I understand that you won't be answering my questions. In the past, I've made every effort to present indisputable data, so tonight I want to speak from the heart. However, even though Measure 15-238 passed, this issue is not a done deal. There's more data that should be out in the open, and there are questions to ask. From the get-go, this was not a fair fight. A rough estimate of cash expenditures from the PAC to consultants and marketing firms was $52,000. Is that what it takes to buy a 3% advantage in an election? If this is for the benefit of Medford residents, why was that necessary? More and more, this appears to be a method for some to make their first million, or maybe their next, in maybe construction or real estate. And how convenient that the Eugene Emeralds contributed $50,000 to the coffer. There's proof. Is this a stew steeped in conflict of interest? Should a councilman shirk his or her duties to the community for the sake of this cash cow? Like Parks and Rec's own court jester, wouldn't it be prudent to rid yourself of obligations you can't fulfill? Being a treasurer takes a lot of energy. So the final question is, will those of you who stand to benefit financially from this project do the right thing and resign? Or will my late night reading change from murder mysteries to the recall manual? Think about it.
Thank you. Next, please.
I'm Bill Dames, 2337 Kona Circle. This last election was close, and especially since there was no opposing information in the voters' pamphlet. And nevertheless, you're in a position now where you don't have to put the ballpark in Hawthorne Park. It's really only the Emeralds who benefit from that, in my view. I think the best place to put it is Rogue X, possibly out by Harry and David, but I think Rogue X is the best place. Having it down in Hawthorne is really, it doesn't help the city, it just helps the Emeralds. Theoretically, I'm going to go to a ball game wherever they're located, but I don't think you need it downtown. And basically, you're giving a gift to the Emeralds, and I don't think they deserve that gift. It should be a gift. It should be at the Rogue X. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Mr. Stein, would you like to make a comment?
Hi, my name is Kevin Stein. I'm a resident of West Medford. I was most recently, and still am until I close the campaign here in next week, the co-campaign manager of the ballot measure for 15-236 was successfully passed. I'd like to thank the council for putting that on the ballot and having the foresight to look at what we can do as a city to increase economic development in our city. I will say, as far as the PAC, that everything was fully transparent within Oregon law. I would also like to say, despite what I've seen and heard, I have zero personal financial interest in anything that gets created. I will make $0 if a baseball stadium, if a convention center, or anything else happens. I have absolutely zero economic interest by that. The reason that I used my time for this PAC, which again was adhered to every single solitary rule in Oregon law, is because I care about our city and because I care enough to volunteer my time to make things like this happen. I've been able, as a city councilor and as a person volunteering my time, to increase the lodging tax back in 2020 to create what's now the Rogue X, which is an amazing facility for our city, and I'm proud to have been part of that. And with that, I hope that the council, of which I am a part, can make sure that parts of this, as much as this Creekside Quarter, as we told the voters, can happen, does happen, because as a sort of person that lives here, will always live here, that is a good thing for our city, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to see our city grow and get better. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Krellinger.
Mike Cullinger, resident of Ward 1, also on Medford City Council. I wasn't planning on doing this. I'm just going to comment. I, like Mr. Stein, have nothing to financially gain from this project, and I actually have lost potential income due to a client reaching out to me about a property before this location was public, and after conferring with our city attorney, said you may have knowledge that could benefit you in any kinds of negotiations. And so I actually turned down potential income from my livelihood, which I do full-time outside of these chambers, in order to try to serve the city. And I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that did not complete a public comment form and would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to the minutes. Item 50, approval or correction of the October 15th minutes. We've all received draft minutes from the October 15th, 2025 regular meeting. Does anyone have any revisions or corrections to those minutes? Seeing none, the minutes will stand as submitted. Item 60, there are no items on the consent calendar. Moving on to item 80, ordinances and resolutions. 80.1, Mr. Mitten.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item 80.1 is Council Bill 2025-90, an ordinance authorizing execution of an intergovernmental agreement and acceptance of United States Environmental Protection Agency grant funds in the amount of $2,598,750 from the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality, Climate Equity and Resilience Through Action, or CERTA, program to convert vacant and underutilized existing non-residential buildings into housing.
Would anyone like a staff report? Would anyone like to make a motion?
I move approval of Council Bill 2025-90.
Second.
Mr. Curlinger seconded that one. Any discussion? Sure. All right.
Drag this meeting out.
Just drag it out.
I just think that this is a great opportunity for developers to step forward and take advantage of this free money to better our city and create some additional housing that we desperately need.
Thank you. Further discussion? Mr. Curlinger.
I just want to share my comment. One of the questions I had when this came up was, what happens if we don't spend it all, and is the city going to have some weird strings attached to it? And the answer is no. This is literally money available for developers who want to do some improvements. We hope we have people who want to use all of it, because that's great. But if they don't, it literally costs us nothing. So.
Any other discussion? Winnie, may we please have the roll?
Garrett West,
Yes.
Mike Curlinger,
Yes.
John Quinn,
Yes.
Kevin Stein,
Yes.
Jessica Ayers,
Yes.
Nick Card,
Yes.
Kevin Keating,
Yes.
and Zach Smith.
Yes.
We have 8 yes.
That item passes. 80.2, Mr. Mitten.
Thank you. Item 80.2 is Council Bill 2025-91, a resolution memorializing contracts with consultants for planning related to Creekside Quarter.
Would anyone like a staff report? Is that a yes? Yes, staff report, please.
So this is an action to memorialize the contracts that were let with consultants as we went through the process of vetting the Creekside Quarter and the stadium projects as proposed. So this was requested as a cleanup item, bring it forward to validate those prior actions.
Mr. Stein.
Sorry. So this is and we talked about this before. So this is getting us through the initial things related to the stadium. Have you, and if this isn't the time for that, I understand, but as we continue to move forward, what is going to be the process in terms of contracting out with potential entities for continuing pursuing this project?
Any future action, any future consulting contract will come to the council first, prior to being approved.
Okay. So have you thought about what that looks like in terms of the things we might need?
We, at this juncture, we don't anticipate needing anything else in the immediate future. And if we do, we will absolutely consult with the council first. there's essentially two components to the projects. There's one is the stadium and one is the Creekside Quarter. The Creekside Quarter project itself, the stuff that what we commonly refer to as the west side, is primarily a private activity. The stadium, if it happens, will be a joint project, be a public-private partnership of sorts. That will result in the city having certain responsibilities with respect to bringing it to a point where we can take the project to the market, if you will. We're anticipating doing it as a design-build project. We will need some consultant assistance in getting to the point where we can bid that out as a design-build project. So we will bring that the consulting services agreements to the council as part of that process. We also, of course, have to have authorization from the council to go out to the market with that project. And that also is, of course, pending successful negotiations with the Emeralds and Major League Baseball. So there's quite a process ahead of us. The work that was done under these agreements was to get us to the point where we could do that. So, but everything else will be coming straight to the council.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion? Mr. Stein.
I move to approve Council Bill 2025 TAC 9-1.
I'll second that.
All right. Any discussion? May we have roll, please?
Kevin Stein?
Yes.
Kevin Keating?
Yes.
John Quinn?
Yes.
Jessica Ayers?
Yes.
Zach Smith?
Yes.
Garrett West?
For the record, Garrett West recused himself from this matter due to a conflict of interest.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice that he left. Okay. Garrett West. Mike Curlinger?
Yes.
Nick Card?
Yes.
We have 7 yes.
Awesome. That item passes. Thank you very much. Welcome back, Mr. West. Item 90, public hearing. Before beginning the public hearing, I'd like to remind everyone that the rules of decorum previously outlined are still applicable. Violations of the decorum policy may result in your removal from the chambers. This evening, we have one land use quasi-judicial hearing. If you'd like to speak during this hearing, please complete a blue public comment form to be called forward. Comments for quasi-judicial hearings are limited to a total of 30 minutes for applicants and/or their representatives. A 5-minute rebuttal time may be requested. Appellants and their representatives are limited to a total of 30 minutes, and if the applicant is not the appellant, they will also be allowed a total of 30 minutes. All other participants will be limited to 4 minutes. Quasi-judicial hearings have specific requirements, which Mr. Mitten will outline before the hearing begins. 90.1, Mr. Mitten.
Thank you, Mr. President. 90.1 is Council Bill 2025-92, an ordinance proclaiming annexation to the city of Medford for 2 developed parcels totaling approximately 0.95 acres located east of Table Rock Road. The county zoning designation of rural residential 2.5 will be changed to the city's light industrial zone with a limited industrial overlay. The property will be removed from the Medford Rural Fire Protection District Number 2, and because this is quasi-judicial, I've got a few rules I need to read. I'm going to explain the rules that govern this hearing. Before the hearing begins, city staff will give a report. The report will list the criteria that governs the city's decision. After the staff report, the hearing will be open for other speakers. The applicant will speak first and may ask for rebuttal time. Following the applicant, any other interested person will be allowed to speak. Before the hearing is closed, anyone who needs more time to present evidence must ask for more time. If you ask, the hearing will be continued or the record will be kept open. You'll have at least 7 days to present additional written evidence. Any testimony, argument, or evidence you give must relate to the criteria listed in the staff report or other criteria in the comprehensive plan or land use regulations that you believe apply to the decision. If you fail to raise an issue or do not give the council sufficient information so that the council and any party can respond, you'll not be able to appeal that issue to the Land Use Board of Appeals. If you do not raise constitutional or other issues about any proposed condition with specificity so that the council can respond to that issue, you'll not be able to bring a court action for damages. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a land use quasi-judicial matter. Before we begin considering this item, does anyone have conflicts of interest or ex parte contacts to report? Mr. West.
I might have a potential interest with one of the beneficiaries of this property, so I'll abstain in this proceeding.
Any others? All right. May we have a staff report, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, councilors. I am Kelly Aiken with your Planning Department. I have a pretty brief presentation for you on the Alvarez annexation. And I also want to note the applicant's agent, Herb Farber, is in the audience this evening. So the subject property is located on the east side of Table Rock Road, just south of Airport Road, right at the city limits, at the urban growth boundary too. And as always, we start off with the approval criteria. The criteria for annexation are found in Land Development Code Section 10.216. In the staff report, we've analyzed the criteria and determined that they were either been satisfied or are not applicable in this matter. And the City Council is the approving authority for annexations under the code. So as I mentioned, we're on the east side of Table Rock Road, just south of Airport Road. The two properties total just shy of 1 acre. The comprehensive plan designation is general industrial, the GLUP map. Currently, the county's zone rural residential, and the proposed zoning is light industrial with the IOO overlay. I want to explain that overlay. What that does is that tells us that the infrastructure facilities were not tested for adequacy. So the code tells us when we have an industrial property with an industrial GLUP, when it's annexed, it has to have that holding zone to designate that that work has not yet been done. And then part of the decision before you tonight is to remove this property from Fire District 2 and annex into the city's district. So Councilor Kerlinger, you had asked a question yesterday about kind of what happens with those properties that are currently residential. The property from this one on the city side, on Medford side, from this property south to Lone Pine Creek are all residential properties. Those are the only properties left in the county. Those can continue to be used as residential properties until they choose to redevelop. And I have Central Point's comprehensive plan map on the west side of Table Rock, just to kind of show what the plan is. Their gray color denotes also an industrial designation. So all of Table Rock Road from between Biddle all the way down to the creek is anticipated to be industrial. So as those properties redevelop, that's what's anticipated for both cities. Looking at the approval criteria, the first one is that the subject property is within the urban growth boundary. It is adjacent to the east of the UGB. The second is that it's adjacent to the city limits. The city limits are shown in yellow, so it's adjacent on the north and easterly property lines. I also wanted to point out, so we have the city of Medford city limits on the east side of Table Rock and city of Central Point on the west. So the properties that aren't colored are still in the county. So the properties on the west side of Table Rock have not been annexed into Central Point either. The third criteria is the owner's consent. The owner is the applicant and did consent. And finally, the fourth criterion doesn't apply. This is the UGB expansion map from 2018. The colored areas were the properties that were brought into the UGB in 2018. This property was not one of those. So the fourth criterion does not apply in this matter. And so with that, based on the facts in the record, staff is recommending approval, and I'm happy to take your questions.
Any questions for staff? I have a quick question for you, Kelly.
Yes,
Who's
sir.
responsible for Table Rock Road?
The county.
The county is. Does this annexation change that in any way?
No, there was some grand agreement between the cities and the county, and I don't know if there was infighting. I don't know what happened, but the county took the adult approach and will continue to own and maintain it.
I see Mr. Vile laughing in the audience. I'm sure he can regale us with the stories later.
I think that's a fairly accurate representation of what happened.
Again, any other? Mr. Kerlinger?
Well, I guess we may be getting tangential, but with the city already being to the north, and then we're also to the south with this gap that's still in, and then some that's going to be in Central Point soon, do we expect that eventually, once everything besides Table Rock has been annexed into Medford or Central Point, will that agreement adjust, or is Table Rock just going to be theirs forever?
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think that's a permanent solution.
Okay.
All righty. Any further questions for staff? Seeing none, I will open the public hearing. At this point, anyone wishing to speak on this subject, please come forward as called. Please identify yourself for the record before speaking. The applicant's representatives or appellant will speak first.
Good evening. My name is Herb Farber. I'm the agent for Alvarez Restoration and Construction, or Alvarez Real Estate, who is actually doing this annexation. I have an office, well, I don't have an office. I reside at 789 Silver Creek Drive in Central Point. I used to have offices. So we've reviewed the staff report, and we find no objections to it. And so if you have any questions that I might be able to answer, I'd be happy to do that.
Any questions? Would you like to reserve your rebuttal time?
Thank you.
Awesome. Winnie, did anyone complete a public comment form for this public hearing?
No, Mr. President.
Anyone tonight that did not complete a public comment form but would now like to speak? Seeing no further testimony, I will close the public hearing. Any discussion before moving to a motion? I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve Council Bill 2025-92.
Second. Thank you, Mr. Kerlinger. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Any discussion on the motion? Winnie, can we have roll, please?
Mike Kerlinger,
Yes.
Zach Smith,
Yes.
John Quinn,
Yes.
Kevin Stein,
Yes.
Kevin Keating,
Yes.
Nick Card,
Yes.
and Jessica Ayers.
Yes.
We have 7 yes.
Thank you very much. That item passes. Moving on to item 100, council business. Mayor Zarazinski issued 2 proclamations tonight acknowledging Veterans Day and Lung Cancer Awareness Month. I will go ahead and read them on his behalf. Whereas the greatest acknowledgement of our freedom is to honor our armed forces veterans who have sacrificed for that freedom, and whereas the city of Medford recognizes and respects our veterans for their many contributions, whereas we, along with millions of other Americans, can attest to the importance of their sacrifices and contributions for our freedom and security, and whereas both men and women of our armed forces continue to be an inspiration to us all through the demonstration of courage, leadership, and commitment and service to our community and country, and whereas in 1975 Congress voted to approve Veterans Day as a national holiday every November 11th in honor of all of our veterans who have served in the armed forces, and whereas the city of Medford will always remember and pay homage to our military community, both active and inactive, for their contribution, dedication, and commitment to the freedoms we enjoy. Now, therefore, I, Michael Zarazinski, Mayor of Medford, do hereby proclaim November 11th as Veterans Day in the city of Medford and urge all citizens to join us in this commemoration. Whereas lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death among men and women in the United States and Oregon, accounting for more deaths than colon cancer, breast cancer, and prostate cancer combined, and whereas the 5-year survival rate for localized lung cancer is only 60%, yet only 24% of lung cancers are diagnosed at this stage, and whereas screening for lung cancer for high-risk individuals using low-dose computed tomography can lead to the earlier detection of lung cancer and save lives, reducing the mortality by 20% when compared to screening by chest x-ray in the National Lung Screening Trial, and reducing the risk of death at 10 years by 24% in men and 33% in women, as demonstrated by another large randomized trial. And whereas funding for lung cancer research trails far behind funding for research of many other cancers, and additional research is needed in early diagnosis, screening, and treatment for lung cancer, as well as in lung cancer affecting women and lung cancer health disparities. And whereas lung cancer incidence is decreasing twice as fast in men as it is in women, each year more women die from lung cancer than breast cancer, and by the year 2035 more women will die from lung cancer than men. And whereas lung cancer in individuals who never smoked is the 7th leading cause of cancer-related death and accounts for 17,000 to 26,000 deaths in the U.S. every year, 60 to 70% of individuals diagnosed with lung cancer who never smoked are women, and the proportion of lung cancer diagnosed in people who never smoked is increasing in the U.S., and whereas organizations working in Oregon, such as the American Lung Cancer Screening Initiative and Women's Lung Cancer Forum, are committed to educating about lung cancer and lung cancer screening and working to increase lung cancer screening rates in Oregon, now, therefore, I, Michael Zarazinski, Mayor of Medford, do hereby proclaim November as Lung Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Medford and urge all citizens to recognize the need for research in lung cancer affecting women and lung cancer health disparities, and I encourage all citizens to learn about lung cancer and early detection through lung cancer screening. Excellent. Moving on to item 102, committee reports and communications. Council officers update. We had a brief council officers meeting. First item was a special Mura meeting. The December 17th Mura meeting is being moved up to the 3rd in order to account for just the length of schedule. Our Mura chair has given the thumbs up to that, so this is more of an FYI. Mr. Martin came to us to talk about some new budget and financial software that the finance department is looking at. This would be a 5-year contract that would come before us. This is looking at 2 particular things. One is how we manage TLT and rental car tax collections and reporting, and how we audit those numbers. That can save us between $35,000 and $40,000 per year versus the process we do it today, as well as budgeting software to help us with some efficiencies. I learned today that we are the only city in OR7 without a dedicated budget department or subgroup, so that speaks to the leadership of Mr. Martin and the city in terms of being able to deliver our budget without those resources. This software would also allow for more transparency, including putting our budget on the internet and being able to allow citizens to dive into that budget and see more detail. That software costs about $78,000 a year, though we will see some of that savings come back to us in terms of more efficient staff time. Third item, we're being asked to execute a letter of intent with USL. They are exploring coming to Medford. This is actually a new opportunity separate from the Creekside Quarter, and Mr. Mitten, is there anything you wanted to add on that?
Just that nothing's finally decided, nothing's binding. We're just exploring an opportunity through this letter of intent.
Okay. So staff needs a motion from council to execute this letter of intent.
I move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Great. You have your execution.
Thank you.
That came out really weird. All right. Fourth item, parking management. The way Mr. Wise described this, I think, is quite apt. Different departments in the city played musical chairs, and then Public Works lost. And so they are now responsible for parking. And so as part of our downtown plan, we are looking at our parking management plan. Public Works is requesting $100,000 for this. We do not have funds in the city budget for that, and so Public Works is intending to request those funds, that funding, from Mura. And they basically wanted to see if council had any opposition to making that request to Mura. Mr. Stein.
I always have longtime viewers, which are actually none of you. I have issues with parking in terms of what's the best way to put it? It's not a subject I really like talking about, but it's obviously a subject that matters. And I always get a little confused in terms of like how this cycles through and like what's the best path forward. $100,000, and then what are we getting for it? I guess that would be my question. What is? I guess I need more information about what $100,000 does.
All right. So Public Works. I don't see Dan. It's Alex. It's all you, buddy. That'll be. Hopefully, we'll hear a riveting presentation that'll justify that when it comes to your gavel.
Great.
All right. Last item. Oh, sure, if you would like to respond, go ahead. I thought you were like running out the door. I wouldn't have blamed you. So.
Sam stopped it.
Uh-huh. Thanks, Sam. No.
Red light means on.
Red
There
light
you
means on. Council, Alex Georgievich, city engineer, sitting in for Dan Worth. We are working on a parking management plan to help us understand where parking should be, where we should be looking at charging for parking, where we should be looking at changing times for parking, and we have a budget. We have a fund that has $1.3 million in expenses with only $700,000 in revenue. So that fund is sinking, and we're trying to figure out how to make that a solid fund, and urban renewal Harry has suggested that because parking has already been planned as part of the urban renewal program, that they would help fund it.
But I guess the problem is you still have a huge deficit.
And yes, and that was one of the goals of a parking management plan, is to help us figure out how we will be able to turn that around.
I guess all in all, it's like when it comes to parking, we always run a deficit. Like, this is not a new thing. This has been a thing for 11 years, that when parking is brought up, parking loses lots and lots of money. And I know we've had previous studies in the past, and I don't know if actually anything came of those studies that we did previously. And I've heard things like, oh, the parking spaces are too big, maybe we make the parking spaces smaller, and then you can get more parking spaces, and they talk about the turnover rates of certain parking spaces. And then I guess for me, it's just I want to understand the nexus of, like, okay, if there's $100,000, how are we getting to the promised land of a parking system that either is self-sufficient or just a known, hey, parking is going to cost us $500,000 a year or biennium or whatever for eternity? Or is there a way that we can just make it, we don't do certain things anymore and that reduces cost, or we do new things and that reduces the deficit? Those are the types of things that would be of interest to me, and if they involve any public policy stances. But I know that this is something that has never died. No matter what we do, this issue never dies. It just keeps going on.
If I
It
may,
costs more money.
It sounds like that's what this study is trying to answer. Is that putting words?
Absolutely.
Okay. Mr. Field.
Yeah, in the spirit of being too slow to step back, Mira has been running, has been the de facto manager of parking downtown for quite a while, and has put a lot of money into it already. So I think part of the purpose of this is to really kind of rationalize, how should parking be run and what should it look like. So, but finding funds up front to, maybe pass the baton. But Mira's already been involved in parking for quite some time. And so this is just a step in hopefully rationalizing how it's managed. There's no ideal solution.
Any other questions? We'll have Alex here. Mr. Keating.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as well, like, why are we in a deficit? Where's all the money going when you say, what are the top 3 expenses, let's say, for parking, and then where's our revenue coming from?
I can't answer that question now. We were just handed the program, and so we're just starting to get our head wrapped around what is
So is the
involved.
$100K going to go to purchasing services of a consultant, or what are you going to do with it?
We will use it to purchase services of a consultant to tell us, to look at how to manage the downtown parking, where to charge, where that limit would break, what are the usages. We also have infrastructure. We have 2 garages that are liabilities, and right now I'm not seeing any funds to think of long-term maintenance of those, so trying to work that into the budget, long-term budget as well, because those are liabilities that the city will have to continue to think about, and if we're not proactively planning for work on them, they're going to become larger liabilities.
Thank you.
Anything else?
So, this isn't a council decision, though, so.
No, this is just an
bring it to a
FYI
Mira
to
meeting?
council that this is coming to Mira.
Okay, all right.
Item 5, build grant. We have been informed that there is a new notice of funding opportunity for a new phase of build grant money. And so this is a way for us to get money for the NEPA process, which is the environmental review for the South Stage interchange. And so what is really exciting about this is there is no match requirement because we are considered rural. So we can request, and it is the intention of staff to request $4 million to cover the cost of the NEPA process. And so that is the federally mandated environmental review process that has to happen for any kind of infrastructure, the highway infrastructure stuff, and more than that. But basically, the staff's intention is to go for it, and they wanted to let us know because there's no match. There's really no technical requirement for us to do anything about it, but they wanted to make sure we were in the loop, and if we had any concerns, so we could voice them now. I see nodding heads. Next steps, ODOT and partners and money, money, money. Is that all right? I love it. All right, that's our council officers. Any committee reports? Sure. Ms. Ayers.
So I attended the So Ready Long-Term Strategic Growth Committee this year after taking a hiatus while they were hiring an executive director. And it was really positive. Their new executive director has already prepared potential new mission and goals, striving to be a regional collaborator, working on greater economic development missions, and he's got some really innovative ideas on how to expand So Ready's revenue sources. So we're going to start meeting every other month to develop not what's known as the SEDS or the One Rogue Valley Plan, but rather a strategic plan specific to the local jurisdiction.
Great. Any other committee reports? Mr. Grillinger.
Not a committee report. I'll just share. Garrett and I met with Laura Pinney, director for RV Mentors. It could have been a week ago or 3 at this point.
I think it was a week, but time dilation. I don't know.
Exactly. But it was really, it was an impressive program, and she's in a ton of the schools, and I think said 300 students a week that they're seeing, which I was really impressed by. And then I also saw Jess at the Rogue Way to Wellbeing. Oh, I did see you another table over at the keynote from there, and it was great. It's a really cool partnership that brought in several different COCs and different organizations, and it was good to be there and hear about all the work that's going on.
Any other committee reports? Mr. Keating.
Yeah, just thought I'd mention that Ms. Ayers, as well as myself and Mayor Zarasinski, were here fielding questions from a very respectful class of 4th grader studying civics at Lagos, and it was a lot of fun, and I hope that happens more often.
Mr. West.
I attended the Medford Water Commission today, and we had a cost of service adjustment presentation and some allocations for some new engineering services for a pump station up on Capitol Hill, as well as discussion about a communications tower upgrade, although I have been assured there will not be any surprise towers on Capitol Hill. For a shout out to some past events. And also in the news, I wanted to congratulate Ms. Ayers for her well-deserved Community Service Award from Jackson County. Jessica does a ton. Jessica does a ton for the community, and it's very well-deserved.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Ms. Ayers.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other committee or commission reports? Mr. Smith?
I went to the Police Advisory Commission across the street. Learned a lot. Mr. Ashworth was there talking about the school resource officer program. And yeah, he had a lot of passion behind it. He made me excited for the program. And I did ask if they were to add someone, where would that be? He said, maybe the Innovations Academy down the road, not a dire need, but yeah, it went well.
Thank you. Mr. Quinn.
I attended the monthly RVCOG meeting, Rogue Valley Council of Governments, and we had a presentation from the part of RVCOG that assists people with aging in place, both helping people with existing housing that makes it more accessible for them to be able to stay in their own home. And then separately, there's a project to have a unified or uniform ABC certification of new construction and houses for sale, so that when one buys a house, one can learn, well, it's this type, that means it has this type of accessibility. And the person who presented, Connie Saldana, was very interested in getting in touch with Medford Planning, so I got her connected with our outstanding director, Michelle King, and they either have or will have a lovely conversation or 2 or 3 to try to get the word out about the good work they're doing through Medford Planning. And try to help some people not have to have the unfortunate result of having to leave the home they've put so much into buying and living in. Second, I have a very specific thanks for Deputy Chief Trevor Arnold. As I don't know, you know, but I don't know if anybody knows, I'm the Assistant DA for Siskiyou County, and one of our smaller agencies was adopting or wanting to adopt the software program that we approved recently for MPD. And Trevor was nice enough to find time both for my chief investigating officer and indirectly through him, that agency, to give them some pointers and thoughts and policies they could adopt to make that work well for us. There are certainly lots of wrinkles and things one learns through experience, and he was kind enough to share that. And it's part of, justice is everywhere, and it's nice that they were able to lend a hand. And then finally, Councilor Ayers and I attended via Zoom Unite Oregon, which one of their program, it's focused on the Latino community, and one of the programs or one of the efforts they're doing that I thought was amazing and incredibly needful, commonly, particularly like the forest crews or other people, are people here who are on H-1B visas and frankly would like to stay here and continue to do all the good things that come with having an excellent job and working hard. Unfortunately, either the crew bosses or business owners that contract to provide that service sometimes don't have workers' comp insurance at all, or they have it to get the federal contract, but then tell their workers, if you dare to say that you got hurt at work, you're going right back. You can forget about having a job and supporting your family and being here. So shut up. So they are left injured in various ways with no real resources to get workers' compensation benefits and get their health back. And we heard some stories of people that were badly injured that were just told, sorry, out of luck. And that's, of course, dissuading people from seeking those benefits. If we were one county south, I'd be putting them in jail, but a lot of people don't come forward. So it's a real problem, and a lot of good work is being done, letting those workers know that they do have somewhere to go, and they shouldn't just suffer after working so hard. And that was a great Zoom meeting we did together.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn. Any other committee or commission reports? Any other council business? Item 110, staff reports. Mr. Field.
Yes, just briefly. I think we discussed a little bit in council officers too about a big thank you to the veterans, so including our own Councilor Stein. So,
yeah,
Buckles. Also, it's been in the media a little bit, but since we were on the subject of parking, we did, in fact, eliminate the 1 hour parking in downtown, so it's all 2 hour minimum, except for I think there's still a few 15-minute spots in front of some select businesses. But beyond that, we have at least done that. So I don't know if that's going to shave anything off the $100,000 requirement for the study. We can only hope, but in any event, we're making some efforts to make things better in downtown. So thank you.
Anything else for the good of the order? Seeing nothing, this meeting is adjourned at 7:07.
We don't have any part two, isn't that neat? Yeah. Sir. Of course.